Tonight on Joy News Prime, police investigate a 32-year-old security guard accused of defiling his 12-year-old daughter at knife point.
To the place or could read the place. This man had jammed the wall with the daughter, with the knife in one hand and daughter in another.
After Thursday's walkout by minority MPs, some majority MPs are questioning whether they could participate in the debate of the President's State of the Nation address.
If you are not in the House when the debate was going on and you find yourself in the chamber when the vote is on, you can't participate. So technically...
Well, approval of the controversial $23 million tax waiver has meanwhile been deferred after the House could not form a quorum. We also fact-checked the President's claim that nearly 14,000 toilets have been built in a bid to end open defecation.
According to the Northern Regional Environmental Health Unit, in the three northern regions, that is Savannah, Northeast and Northern, the number of open defecation-free communities has increased. ODF has increased from 5% as of June 2016 to some 58% as of July 2019.
We'll also find out the progress made towards ending open defecation in business.
Ghana and Barbados signed Memorandum of Understanding to jointly assist in development of the aviation sectors.
By the end of December last year, we went up to a little over 3 million. And so it means there's a lot of interest in Ghana. I cannot even go through the details of the airlines, which have started with just one flight here a week, 2 flights here a week.
I'm Israel Lai, and Joy News Prime comes to you live from the Joy News studio here in Accra with digital address GA09925539, where we're celebrating 25 years of fearless journalism. Stay tuned in. Police is investigating a 32-year-old man alleged to have defiled his 12-year-old daughter at Agbogbo, a suburb of Accra. The accused, a private security guard, is said to have forcibly had sex with her daughter at knife point. When the 12-year-old girl could no longer take the ordeal, she stole the father's phone to call the police for help. My colleague Emmanuel Ante has been following the story and reports the girl is responding to treatment in a shelter while the father has been granted bail. He spoke with the coordinator of the CID Dofsu unit, Medina, Superintendent Sofa Eva Enim.
We were here when a case was reported of a girl being forcibly taken from the school during classes hours by the father. Apparently, this girl happened to stay with the auntie. So the school alerted the auntie, and then we went to the scene. So before the patrol team could get to the place or could read the place, this man had jammed the wall with the daughter, with the knife in one hand and daughter in another hand. So we had to give a warning shot before he surrendered, and we rescued the girl and arrested the man. So the girl, when we interviewed, now revealed to us that the first time that the father took her to wherever he was, he asked her to whether he could kiss her, and she refused. Then she was also asked to massage the penis with a pomade by the father. The girl again refused. So it was then that the father took an hacksaw that if she doesn't avail herself for him to do whatever he wanted to do, he will kill her. So the girl had to obey whatever the instructions the father was giving her. So that night, he had sexual intercourse with her. Then the next day dawn, he also had sexual intercourse with her. So the following day, whilst the girl remembered that the first time they came to the police mentioned the phone number of the investigator to the auntie. And the number was still in memory. So she told the father that she was going to the washroom. She went to the washroom, stole the father's phone with her, and quickly called the investigator where the father is hiding her. That was how come we went to the place and we rescued her and arrested the father as well. Currently, the girl is in a shelter with an NGO, and the father was sent to court. He is now on court bail, reporting to court. Yes.
This is a story we're following, and so do stay tuned. We'll be bringing you updates as and when they become available. Elsewhere, the Sanitation North District Assembly is working with other stakeholders to consider new bylaws to restrict movement of children at night. Member of Parliament Andy Appiah-Kubi is spearheading the move in a bid to sustain gains made in the academic performance of schools in the area in recent times. A committee of legal experts has been set up to draw a draft within the framework of national and human rights laws. Nane Aljima has more in the following report.
In 2016, Asante Achem North District was ranked low among all 260 metropolitan, municipal and district assessments in BEC. Increased investment and other measures introduced by authorities moved the district up to 98th in 2017 and 42nd in 2018. A target was set to have the district in the top 20 set for 2019, but the ranking is yet to be published. MP for the area, Andy Appiah-Kubi, who is seeking a second term, talks about investment and expected results.
2019, based on the contribution of all the stakeholders and the efforts we put in, we are very hopeful that our target of between 1 and 20 will be much improved to between 1 and 10. Because the indications we are getting is that the results of 2019 gives us 93% success, 93.3%. The comparison we make is to the winners, the regional winners of last year, who got 92% and became first. So if we're getting 93.3% this year, our expectation is that if we are not first, we'll be 1, or 2, or 3. And that gives us the hope that in the national tabulation, we will clock from between 1 and 10.
Mr. Appiah-Kubi has personally visited some communities at night to get children off the streets. The proposed legislation will be enforced by volunteers in local communities when it comes into effect. The MP says parents and other stakeholders are being engaged to ensure successful implementation.
We are educating the parents not to send their wards outside the homes after 7:30 p.m. because they have to be by their books. So the parents have bought into the concept, and I hope they will not breach the regulations as we roll them out. The children, we have also offered a lot of education to them, as you saw me discuss with them. So they also understand the rules.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Investment Fund and Electronic Communications has donated 20 computers to basic schools in the area. For Joy News, Nana Aljima reporting.
Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council wants safety measures on the Jusu-Kumasi section of the Kumasi-Accra road fixed urgently. Absence of traffic lights at what it describes as problematic roundabouts is a major concern. 2 of 3 such roundabouts, which caused several accidents and traffic, were ordered removed last year. Though work is at an advanced stage, Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah is unhappy about delayed execution. Nane Ajime again interacted with the minister and other stakeholders and filed this report.
Signalized turns were supposed to replace roundabouts that claimed lots of lives and caused heavy congestion on Kumasi-Accra Road. A third roundabout at Tech Police Station area has seen slow pace of work. Justice Edia Donko is project manager at Core Construction, contractors on the project.
The pavement block need to cure. So when we brought the pavement block to site, we have to allow it to cure. Now we have gotten, what do you call it, the maturity rate, and we are ready to start the laying today.
His explanation for the delay will not sit well with Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah.
But I don't accept the explanation that they changed the scope from ordinary asphalt to laying of pavement block, because that decision was taken together with the one at Ejoso. You know, if you take Body Junction and Odo Junction, those places is only T junction, so you don't have the heavy vehicles parking for a long time. But this side is a crossroad, so with crossroad you need to have several signals, and the heavy duty vehicles will park for longer period. That is why there's the need to change the distance from asphalt to the use of pavement blocks.
On signalization, the minister wants contractors to show urgency in fixing lights, emphasizing safety is paramount.
Certainly, there will be improvement on safety on our roads, and what gladdens my heart most is that those people who have been using this road before the commencement of this project, we used to have very heavy traffic at the Joso roundabout, Odium roundabout, Body Junction, and those places. But these days, even if you visit those places early in the morning, that's the rush hour, morning and evening, you don't find any heavy traffic at the three that have been completed. You only experience traffic at this point. I think behind them, excuse me, just give me, you see they started working on the signals. So as soon as they complete the work, I'm sure within maximum 2 months, they should be able to complete the signalization of.
For about a month, core construction has been off-site on the Tech and Loga Junction asphalt overlay project. The contractor admits government has paid a substantial amount of its debt, but he blames stalled work on frequent equipment breakdown. They have then been directed to fix problematic parts of the road to guard against road accidents. Meanwhile, roads in Ejoso townships and surrounding communities, including Donaso bridges, are under construction. Francis Gambra heads Ashanti Regional Urban Roads.
As you are aware, works are ongoing. In fact, as we initially told you, contractors are generally back to site, and within the next few weeks, we expect to see a lot of work being done on these works.
You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break, but still ahead in the bulletin. We'll be fact-checking the president's claim that nearly 14,000 toilets have been built in a bid to end open defecation.
According to the Northern Regional Environmental Health Unit, in the three northern regions, that is Savannah, Northeast and Northern, the number of open defecation-free communities has increased. ODF has increased from 5% as of June 2016 to some 58% as of July 2019.
Stay tuned in, we'll be back in a bit. President Nana Akufo-Addo has touted his government's achievements in the area of sanitation, even though he admits a lot more needs to be done. In a State of the Nation address, the president stated that in the Savannah, Northeast and Northern regions, the number of open defecation-free communities has increased significantly in the last 3 years.
According to the Northern Regional Environmental Health Unit, in the three northern regions, that is Savannah, Northeast and Northern, the number of open defecation-free communities has increased. ODF has increased from 5% as of June 2016 to some 58% as of July 2019. The latest data from the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources shows that ODF communities in Ghana as a whole have increased from 410 in 2016 to over 5,000 communities. Now that is progress, and it did not just happen. It took hard work, commitment, and the provision of infrastructure. In fulfillment of our manifesto commitment of toilets for all, we have built 13,800 toilets which is largely responsible for this development.
Let's get on to Skype now and speak with someone who should know what the president has been saying regarding open defecation. Atta Ahing is the WASH Technical Coordinator, World Vision Ghana. Thank you very much for making time to speak with us, Mr. Ahing. You have been on the ground, and per what you have seen, would you say the president's claims are true?
Well, thank you very much for having me. First of all, let me say that our progress in terms of ending open defecation has been painfully very, very slow. Let me tell you that in 1990, Ghana's open defecation rate was 22%. In 2011, it was 22%. 2017, 2018, according to the multiple indicator cluster survey, it is still 22%. And so I am at a loss to see, I'm struggling to see the kind of progress we have made. For me, we have virtually made progress at all. But yes, when the president mentions 5% to 58% in terms of ODF, rate, he was referring to, this data refers only to the northern region, the 3 northern regions. This does not reflect the entire country. Yes, from 410 to 5,000, maybe true. I'm unable to verify that, but that is likely to be true. However, this does not reflect the entire national picture. Look, the fact that we are only referring to the northern region tells you that all the other regions are not doing well. And all the regions which are doing relatively well are regions supported by UNICEF. And at best, some other NGOs like World Vision, Global Community, APO, UNET, among others. And so for me, Ghana has not done well at all when it comes to improved sanitation and the fight against open.
Yeah, Mr. Ahing, what do you think is the challenge? Because the president talks about the number of toilets that have been built. What needs to be done apart from building toilets, or if the building of toilets hasn't helped the situation?
Yes, you see, the thing is that the community declared open defecation free. 80% of the households should have built latrines and using them. So these toilet facilities may not necessarily be toilet facilities that government has built, but government doesn't build toilets. Government supports households to build toilets through initiatives, including the Gamma project. But the thing is that the most important thing lacking in this whole fight, for me, has been leadership. Leadership in the fight against open defecation has not been the best. And that is why we are calling for a presidential special initiative for ending open defecation. Can you imagine if the president gave an order to all his appointees that end open defecation in 2 years, in 3 years? I believe that because of the willingness to please the president, the appointees will move. Apart from that, Ghana needs an open defecation-free roadmap and a costed strategy. We don't have that now. And so implementation has not been well coordinated. We also think that we need increased financing. So far, only few are benefiting from government support. All the other regions are not benefiting anything. And for me, that is not helpful.
Hey, Mr. Ahing, I'd like you to hold on. I'd like you to hold on for me a bit. I've been joined in the studio by my colleague Nancy Emefa-Jadozi, who has been going round with the Clean Ghana campaign team, and he has quite some experience as far as open defecation is concerned in the southern sector, or especially Greater Accra, to be precise. So, Nancy, you have been around with the Clean Ghana campaign team. What has been the observation?
Right, so when we visited Jamestown specifically, we found a lot of this happening. In fact, we caught one guy who was doing it at the scene, and he was caught red-handed. What happened was that
when he was asked what he was doing.
He said he was squatting small. We realized that it's a case for all of those people living along the coast, because we found some people who were selling fish just around the same place. They defecate around the same place. So it's a practice along the entire stretch. Even public toilets along the place had also channeled their facilities or their toilets into the sea. So it's like it's a practice that they are used to. So I remember Madam Kochi mentioned on the tour that they have been supplied with toilets. Some have been built for them in their homes. Others have also been built for the entire community. But then anytime they come around, they still find people coming to the seaside to come and ease themselves.
And why is it that the toilets have been built for them and yet they're not using the toilets and they prefer to do it in the open?
So what Madam Kuchi mentioned was that after speaking to a few of them, the trend is that they are used to the open, they don't want to feel free.
They like the breeze around
They like the breeze around it, and so they just want to be there and do their own thing rather than going into the hot public toilets or hot rooms to have it there. They want it in the open so that, whilst they are eating themselves, they're thinking or they're doing whatever they want to do. So basically, that's the reason that Madam Florence Kuchi gave. But she also mentioned that a lot of these homes do not have public toilets, or toilets in their homes. And to take money out of their pockets to go use the public toilets is a challenge for them. Some of them cannot even afford it. And even those who want to afford it still think that doing it at the beachside is the best option.
All right, thank you very much, Nancy Emefa Jiradozi. And we will, let's get back to Mr. Ahin there. So, Mr. Ahin, you've heard my colleague Nancy Emefa Jiradozi and the experience she's had, or the experience she's been recounting as far as this sanitation challenge is concerned along the beaches. What do you think is a challenge and you had earlier indicated that whatever statistics the president was talking about was not reflective of the general situation in the whole of the country. Whilst looks like we have lost the connection to Mr. Ahin there, but whilst we try and re-establish connection, let's watch that clip from the Clean Ghana campaign trip.
So the person is practicing open defecation just by the sea. Meanwhile, recently, the Minister for Zongo Development was here to commission about 150 toilet facilities that have been dammed for the public, for them free of charge. They have all these facilities within them, and they are still practicing open defecation. You can just imagine, even we are coming, but this guy did not even feel shy. He was still sitting there doing his own thing, you see. Yeah. So that is what is going on.
So for somebody like who is practicing the open defecation, what is going to be happening to him?
We will arrest him right away. That is why we have the team. So we are arresting him.
All right, so that was a short clip that was recorded earlier when the Clean Ghana Campaign Task Force visited the Jamestown Beach, and I still have Nancy Emefa with me. Unfortunately, though, we're unable to re-establish the connection with Mr. Ahin, but I had some questions for him. From what you've observed, Nancy, is this an issue of toilets being made available or the attitudes of the people?
I think it's large attitude now. I think it's a practice. In fact, the same place we found this guy easing himself, just about 100 meters away from where he was squatting, was a public toilet. And so what prevents you from just walking into it, pay 20 pesos and doing your thing? I realize that it's attitude now, because even you remember when the guy engaged him in a conversation, he says, I'm just squatting small. They feel it's normal. Yeah. So when we're coming, he didn't even feel, he wasn't triggered. He wasn't scared. He felt that, oh, it's normal. I mean, we do it all the time. All right. And one thing that got me scared was the following day we went back to that same place. It had rained. And easy, we were walking, you had
to be careful.
Careful. In fact, I had to even step in one.
Ouch.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Nancy Emefa Jiradozi. Ata Ahing is the Watch Technical Coordinator, World Vision Ghana. And he has rejoined us, but this time on phone. Mr. Ahing, you were talking about leadership and the president probably declaring open defecation free communities by a certain time. Now, from what Nancy has been telling us here, it appears the situation is a lot more. We are dealing with a much bigger problem. This has to do with attitudes and the people not willing to change their lifestyles.
I agree entirely with her narrative. In fact, the problem goes beyond what we are even imagining. Look, 3,600 children die every year as a result of diarrhea, and diarrhea is basically as a result of poor sanitation. And open defecation is certainly a major component of that. We are dealing with a situation where people defecate openly. When they are caught, the law cannot catch up with them. They get people to plead on their behalf, and they go scot-free. So laws and bylaws can no more be enforced. When you have a situation like that, there is no way you can address this situation. I am confident that if the president can make this a flagship program, a special initiative, we will go somewhere. Otherwise, there is no way we are going to make the gains that we want to make.
Mr. Ahin, the president can declare that initiative that you're talking about, but if the people are unwilling to change their lifestyles, as you have indicated, we're still not going to go anywhere.
I agree with you, but the point is that if the president declares a special presidential initiative, it will also go with attitudinal change. And attitudinal change takes time. But once people believe that they can rally around the president in fighting this, I believe that they will grant their support. Otherwise, we cannot make any headway. In the entire country, I'm sorry to say, only one district has been declared district-wide open defecation free, and that is only Nandom, 1 out of 260. And so we are way, way behind, and we need to do something drastic.
How was Nandom able to achieve this?
Perfect question. And these are the lessons we need to learn. Nandom achieved this through strong leadership, and that was key. Leadership that was willing to sacrifice and to rally all the stakeholders, around. Leadership that was willing to mobilize resources. Leadership that ensured effective coordination. Leadership that was able to build capacity. They did all this and made sure that in Nandom, people are able to accept and to work with the district assembly's plan of ending open defecation by a certain deadline. That is what we need. And I'm happy that the northern region is leading this fight strongly. And just recently, they had a Ministers' Sanitation Summit so that they can share and learn lessons among all the regional ministers so that they can also replicate in their respective jurisdictions.
All right.
I think that we need this strong leadership to be able to succeed.
All right. Thank you very much. Atta Ahin is the WASH Technical Coordinator at the World Vision Ghana. We're taking a break and we'll be back with Business in Business. Ghana and Barbados signed Memorandum of Understanding that will see them collaborate in the aviation sectors. Do stay tuned.
By the end of December last year, we went up to a little over 3 million. And so it means there's a lot of interest in Ghana. I cannot even go through the details of the airlines, which have started with just 1 flight here a week, 2 flights here a week.
Time for business, and Sandra is here. Hello, Sandra.
Hi, happy Friday.
Yeah,
I like Fridays.
Yeah, we all do like Fridays.
Let's do business now. But the conversation before business was quite interesting.
Open
21st century,
yes.
we're still having
open
this defecation.
All right, you take it away.
All right, celebrating 25 years of joy. My name is Sandra Esinam Apenu. I'm here for business. In our first story tonight, a delegation from Barbados has paid a courtesy call on Ghana's Aviation Minister Kofi Adam. The two parties signed a memorandum of understanding to jointly assist in the development of the aviation sectors of their respective countries. Barbados Minister of Tourism and International Transport, Keru Simons, explained the move was strategic considering Ghana's viable record in the aviation space. There's more in the following report.
Government of Barbados will in the coming days be understudying Ghana's civil aviation sector as the Caribbean country sets out to establish its first civil aviation authority. During a courtesy call on Ghana's Aviation Minister, Joseph Ada, Minister of Tourism and International Transport for Barbados, Corey Simons, explains the reason for choosing Ghana.
For years, had wanted to go there, but as you know, it requires a lot of budgetary and financial commitment and support from the Ministry of Finance. And the reality is that successive administrations for many, many years did not try to treat that as a priority. So it has now become a matter of priority for us, and we have been, as leaders of government tend to do, they give you a mandate to get it done quickly.
With Ghana Civil Aviation Authority currently rated the best in West Africa, Aviation Minister Joseph Ada noted the aviation sector is opening up for more investment and business opportunities.
We've done quite well. The numbers have gone up quite high. If you go back to about 2017, then the numbers were about 1.7 million passenger throughput. By the end of December last year, it went up to a little over 3 million. And so it means there's a lot of interest in Ghana. I cannot even go through the details of the airlines, which have started with just one flight here a week, 2 flights here a week, to every day of the week now. And a lot of them are coming here and moving on to neighboring countries, to Togo, to Benin, and so on.
Meanwhile, the Barbados delegation has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Aviation to prop up the development of both countries' aviation sector.
Now, tax partner at PwC, Abeku Jan Kwanzaa, has charged the Ghana Revenue Authority as a matter of urgency get all electronic businesses in the country registered. This, he believes, will help the authority to track their transactions and ensure that the right taxes are paid. Abeku Jan Kwanzaa is optimistic that the Ghana Revenue Authority can meet its revenue targets if the necessary loopholes in the tax laws are addressed.
The issue also around the e-commerce I talked about. Since 2013, our tax laws are clear. If I sit in my room and I'm downloading from my App Store, my Google Play or whatever, and I do certain things, there are taxes that arise. But even when the people want to go and register, they do not even have the modalities in place because your registration requirement still assumes that you must have a fixed base here in Ghana, but the guy does not have it. So if you pass a law, and we are not implementing these things, then the question is, why do we keep complaining about this revenue gap?
So you think we should be blaming our own self?
I think so. And one of the points that I think is worth mentioning, and I talk to a lot of businesses, there are several issues in dispute with the revenue. 2018 budget was clear. Mr. Minister clearly said, I want to ensure that if there's a dispute between you and the revenue, there's an independent panel to quickly resolve the issue so that we don't just run to the courts. The courts have a lot to do already. This was said in the 2018 budget. 2019 budget has been read. 2020 budget has been read. We have still not moved on. So then you have a case whereby there are a lot of disputes still hanging. And anytime those disputes hang, my Finance 101 lecturer would tell me that there's time value of money. Right? So an assessment that should have been at that time, yes, somebody may raise the issue around interest, blah, 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 but the argument will be no, we must also determine it at a particular point in time. So what are the interests? Whatever be it as it may, money that we should have collected yesterday is not being collected because they are in disputes, and those disputes are not being resolved as quickly as they ought to be resolved.
In other news tonight, the Bank of Ghana has rolled out a new platform to ensure transparency in foreign exchange trading among banks, known as the Refinitiv Margin. The platform is also expected to help in pricing the cedi for Forex trading. More details in the following report.
Over the years, the Bank of Ghana has been implementing FX market reforms to enhance transparency, improve price discovery, and increase availability of FX hedging products. The Bank of Ghana has now adopted the Refinitiv Spot Margin platform as a market standard for interbank trading of up to $250,000 US. Refinitiv Spot Margin is the primary source of interbank liquidity in 27 currencies due to its features. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, charged all commercial banks to adopt the new platform.
It will be mandatory for all banks on the Ghana interbank market to use this platform for all their firm dealings of lot sizes in multiples of 250,000 or more. The adoption of this platform is a key step for deepening the local FX market, and we therefore expect full adoption from every bank. The bank would in the future approve granting functionality permission on this platform to other relevant stakeholders, such as the bulk oil distributing companies, BDCs, and mining firms that the Bank of Ghana considers important in the foreign exchange market.
Market Development Manager in charge of trading at Refinitiv, Nunu Neto, has been explaining to Joy Business the importance of the platform.
Because the matching is basically a central limit order book. So what does it mean is everyone puts firm orders, firm liquidity. And with that firm liquidity, that helps provide more price discovery, but also gives more confidence and trust to the market in trading, because they see where the prices are at all times and what is the depth of the book, how much is actually available from a trading perspective in the whole interbank. And that will be a key avenue for then the central bank also use whenever it's needed to provide more liquidity to the market. So what we are doing is aggregating, consolidating all the liquidity that is available in the market into one single platform.
The Refinitiv Spot Matching platform will play an effective role in further transforming the interbank market. Ibn Sabate's report for Joy Business.
Ghana on the brink of getting 2 new gold mines. Stay tuned for more details on that in the business news summaries.
After several years of lull, with regard to new mine development, Ghana is on the brink of getting 2 new gold mines within the next couple of years. Importantly, both impending mines will be located in the 2 northernmost regions, Upper East and Upper West, the first time ever that these 2 regions, which are the most economically deprived in the country, will host large-scale gold production. Both mines are being planned and constructed by Australian exploration and production firms, and both are listed on the Australian Stock Exchange. The Bank of Ghana (BOG) has launched a platform for commercial banks to use in the trading of Forex in a real-time manner. The move, according to the BOG, is part of its plans to ensure the continued stability of the local currency against its major trading partners. Christian, the Refinitiv matching platform, it is part of the central bank's plans to use a transparent trading system to create stable pricing for the local currency. Management of the cocoa processing company CPC has said the company has acquired the necessary certification to enable it to enter other markets in the sub-region. Instructively, CPC has noted that the recent access and receipt of a $70 million Afrexim financial support would increase the company's output of the current 64,500 tons to 81,000 ton capacity, with a confectionery side of 3,000 capacity projected to increase to 15,000 tons capacity.
All right, so that's all for business for now. My name is Sandra, and I'm back.
Now, Deputy Majority Whip in Parliament Matthew Nyindam has questioned why minority MPs were listed as present in the minutes of Thursday's proceedings, even though they staged a walkout. The House on Friday had to approve the votes and proceedings document detailing records of happenings in the House the previous day. But Majority Leader Osechi Mensah-Bonsu says minority MPs cannot be barred from debating the President's address.
Technically, we could have decided to contribute anyway, because our laws provide that even if we are not in the House, which is what I alluded to today, and there is a question which attracts a vote, even if you are not in the House when the debate was going on, and you find yourself in the chamber when the vote is on, you can't participate. So technically, even though they were not in the House, they could participate in the debate, except that one will question the morality of that. You abstained. Why then do you come to say that you want to participate in the debate? So that is it. But as I said, one can only relate to moral considerations. But technically, they have every right to participate in the debate if they deem it appropriate.
And then Parliament has deferred approval of the controversial $23 million tax waiver government is seeking for the Pullman Accra City Platinum Hotel project after the House could not form a quorum. The House Friday concluded debate on the report of the Finance Committee, which recommended approval. The minority MPs have, however, raised objections all along. Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak described it as stealing.
Mr. Speaker,
when it comes to and this constitutes 75% of the 25% that is supposed to come from the local partner. The Speaker, we are reaching out our hands and dipping into the Ghana Infrastructure Fund a whopping $13 million for a private person. Mr. Speaker, I heard the debate my colleague Honorable Kojo Nkrumah and Patrick Boama talking about in the past some companies were giving. I challenge you that bring those details to this house, and then let's see what has ended. And I can bet my life for you that if those companies do not deserve, I will oppose them. I will oppose them because this is stealing from government to give it to the rich at the detriment of the poor taxpayer. Yes. Mr. Speaker, of the 25% that is left, the local partner is bringing $18 million. And Mr. Speaker, the local partner by name Dr. Kwame Nyantechi Owusu, that's the sponsor. Mr. Speaker, he's bringing the 18.5 million, and when he was asked at the committee, will this be cash? He says no, some of them will be property. Mr. Speaker, if it is how we want to run our country and take state resources and give it to friends and families at the expense of the poor taxpayer, Mr. Speaker, we are not being fair to the people who spend time and energy to elect us. We are stealing from the poor and enriching the rich. That's what we are doing. Mr. Speaker, let me say, what is special about a hotel in Accra? Mr. Speaker, there's nothing special about a hotel in Accra. There's nothing strategic about a hotel in Accra. Mr. Speaker, today, ask the hotels, the 5-star hotels that we have in Accra. Whether Labadi Beach Hotel,
hold on. Oh, Chairman of the committee, the majority leader will respond. If there's anything that you think you have left out, please tell your leader. So kindly resume your seat, and that is not part of the debate. You, Honorable Chairman, kindly resume your seat. And please, I will expect that I'll have order in the House. Please. Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What is special about a hotel in Accra? There's nothing special about a hotel in Accra. Because, Mr. Speaker, ask the 5-star hotels that we have in Accra, from Labadi Beach, Moving Peak, and all the others. What are their room occupancy in Accra? Because when we talk about room occupancy, how many of their rooms are being taken daily? You will be shocked to realize that they are struggling to even have 70% occupancy. So what is special about a new hotel in Accra that we, the taxpayers, have to dole our taxes to support such a hotel? There's nothing special about a hotel in Accra. Mr. Speaker, if the hotel was to be built, say, in Mole Game Reserve, you say that it is going to boost tourism, and many people go to Mole Game Reserve, and there are not enough rooms. It would have even made some sense. Mr. Speaker, it doesn't make sense at all to take the taxpayers' money that you are going to support a construction of hotel in Accra.
But Deputy Finance Minister Abna Osasari disagrees, insisting the deal is in the interest of the country.
Mr. Speaker, my honourable member is trying to shift the post. We are saying that the strategic investor has fulfilled the law, and based on that, we are submitting the request for a tax waiver to Parliament. So on this note, Mr. Speaker, I would like to urge the House to adopt this report and approve by resolution the request for waivers of these taxes for Platinum Properties Limited in accordance with Article 1742 of the 1992 Constitution.
The minority demanded a head count instead of a vote count and raised questions about the quorum. First Deputy Speaker Joseph Owusu then deferred approval.
My attention has been drawn to the fact that we don't have sufficient numbers to take a decision which is 50% or more. Indeed, It is true we don't have 50% or more in the House, but we can proceed with other matters since this one is. So the debate has been concluded. The decision is deferred.
Deputy Majority Whip in Parliament, Matthew Nyindam, was questioned why minority MPs were listed as present in the minutes of Thursday's proceedings, even though they staged a walkout. The House on Friday had to approve the votes and proceedings document detailing records of happenings in the House the previous day. Speaker Professor Michael Quay, following the Deputy Majority Whip's query, directed the clerk to let proceedings reflect the walkout.
First name presence. But we all knew they went out yesterday. So on what basis are they saying they were present? Oh, Honorable. Mr. Speaker. I don't get you. What I'm saying is that if you look at the votes and proceedings, you see names of minority being present. But we all witnessed what happened yesterday. They were not here. So on what basis were they marked present? I want your guidance, Mr. Speaker. That's right. I mean Mr. Speaker's guidance. Not you. Not you. Are you Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker's guidance on this. Are you Mr. Speaker? Because we can all see present. And you were absent. Mr. Speaker, your guidance.
The Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, Lava Firm and Insura FM Sanitation campaign is shifting gear to another phase, this time mobilizing residents to embark on periodic cleanups and public education. The first exercise is set to take place in the Central Business District of Edum on the 29th of this month. Local sanitation NGO, Mag Twins Eagle Foundation and a number of businesses are coming on board to advance the cause of restoring Kumasi to its Garden City of West Africa days. Themed Own Your Immediate Environment, shun littering, it aims to place responsibility on residents, especially shop owners, to ensure their premises are clean. Representatives of interest groups have jointly launched the initiative in Kumasi.
We need to do the education and then also air it at the lorry stations, at a central part. We do the education, we mount our everything there, we do the education, just talk to them. This should also be aired. And I think why you do it that way, because media is a very bigger tool that can change people's behavior.
The people involved. People see on video, hear on radio that KMA and multimedia are collaborating to sanitize Kumasi. So they still think that, oh, yes, KMA for any multimedia for any lab FM. They don't see themselves in it. So that is why we want to move it a step further with education, and part of the education is the cleanup. And this is the next first major one we are doing.
We'll talk about the cleanup. Very interesting. In fact, we have encouraged them over 2 weeks ago. We have told them to come in their numbers as early as 6 and close at, let's say, about 12 or so. So all of them, they will come with their cutlasses, they will come with their brooms, they will come with their shovels, and KMA2 will give us.
When we meet you in that condition, we will allow you to clean everything. We'll force you to clean everything. Then you put it in the tricycle, and then we take it out. Okay. And so we need the support of corporate institutions, all the financial institutions, be it cash, be it tools that you want to donate to us to support this whole exercise. We need your support. Individuals who are willing to help, whether you have brooms, you have wheelbarrows, you have whatever you have to support this campaign. If you think it's a laudable campaign, then come support us. Let's keep
do it together. So at this point in time, I can say that the 2020 edition of the sanitation campaign drive is officially launched.
Thank you.
So we say thank you very much for being a part of this.
For the second time in 5 weeks, the Wa Islamic Senior High School girls' dormitory has been gutted by fire. Books, mattresses, food, and beds have been destroyed. The burned structure is a temporary dormitory provided for the girls after a similar fire gutted their dormitory on January 7, 2020. 205 female students have been displaced. Deputy Upper West Regional Minister Amidu Chinia Isahaku, who visited the school, said the committee will be set up to look into the issue and prepare recommendations to forestall future occurrences. Rafiq Salam has more.
The time of the occurrence of the inferno may be different, but both are a carbon copy of the other. The first inferno that occurred on January 17, 2020 at the girls' dormitory of the Wa Islamic Senior High School was in the morning when all the students had gone to class. The students had all their learning materials and personal effects burnt into ashes. Thursday's fire also happened at the blind side of the students and school authorities. They had gone for night classes. The intensity of the destruction has never been witnessed by any school in the region.
So by 8:30 thereabouts, those at the down classes, they started shouting. So we even thought that it was a jinn that entered somebody. So by the time we were running out, it was a fire outbreak and started from this lane. So when we got there, we can't save anything. We were able to save our chalkboards, especially those in this lane. Our chalkboards, our everything got burnt. So we don't know what to do again. Our gari, our uniform, everything, our money, our everything got burnt. So we are appealing on the government to please help us. We don't have hostels and classrooms to sleep. Especially with the year 3s. We can't go to the house and be staying. We can't go and be coming back.
The school, still smarting from the January 17 fire, felt nature has never been kind to them. They are downhearted, crestfallen, and yet to come to terms with the fire and the heavy dark smoke that enveloped the school the second time within 5 weeks.
We even looked beyond fire again. We look at food poisoning, organized sessions with the vendors and kitchen staff, making sure that nothing of that sort will happen. So, and even with inspections, the inspection timetable reveals that we'll be doing more inspections almost every week, so that we'll be in the dormitories to see for ourselves what is there so that we can prevent certain. But unfortunately, we are recovering from the first, and this has just happened.
Apart from the loss of valuables to the fire, at least 20 female students panicked and were rushed to the Wa Municipal Hospital.
A number of them actually, because of the shock, were taken to the hospital. Close to less than 20. But it was just a shock. Only one was actually, is a diabetic patient. He was admitted. She was admitted. But all the rest currently have been discharged.
Personnel of the Ghana National Fire Service were called to the scene to help down the fire.
But we were able to establish first-hand investigation, the seat of the fire. That is where the authorities claim that it's used as a box room. That is where we detected a lot of things: charcoal burns, electrical wires hanging loosely, and the other rooms has to be congested. So, but that is what's happening.
Deputy Upper West Regional Minister Amidu Chinia Isahaku expressed worry over the situation and revealed that a committee will be set up to look into the issue.
We are all amazed because the same students who were affected in the first incident and have been relocated here are the same students who have been affected again. And all that gives us a lot of suspicion that we cannot rule out the attitude and the character of the students themselves. And so we need to do an investigation about the electrical system, the activities of the students, so that at least we can arrive at certain important conclusions that can guide us to make certain decisions that will forestall any future occurrence.
Reporting for the news, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Probo Girls' SHS campaign at this year's National Science and Masquerades was ruined in a keenly contested competition, but this did not deter them in rallying behind Koforidua Secondary Technical School. The massive support from the girls seems to have done the trick for the Merimama as they put up an impressive performance to win the Eastern Region qualifier. They pulled 62 points, the highest so far in the nationwide regional qualifiers. Eastern Region correspondent Maxwell Kudoko reports.
As if it was a planned support, the Holt School Krobo Girls Senior High School came out in their numbers to cheer the Merimama up to victory. Krobo girls were kicked out from the third contest by a Presbyterian Senior High Technical School in their home grounds. The Koforidua Sectech team came with 3 contestants and 6 supporters from Koforidua, but had a massive backup support from the Krobo girls.
And it features Oda Senior High School. Let's give them a round of applause. Asasawa Senior High School, Quarridge Senior High School, and Koforidua Secondary Technical School. Beautiful. Simplify. KSCS. Log 16 multiplying log 27. All over log 9 multiplying log 64. Yes?
1.
1 is right. Name 2 of the 3 types of ecological pyramids. Yes, Sectech?
The pyramid of biomass, pyramid of energy.
Yes. The scores. Quarridge Senior High School had 12 points. Asasawa Senior High School 16 points. Oda SHS 35 points. Koforidua Secondary Technical a wide margin of 62 points. Congratulations, Koforidua Secondary Technical School.
A lead contestant from Koforidua Sectech spoke to Joy News.
Oh yeah, they really helped us. They really helped us. They contributed to part of our victory, and we thank them. And we pray for the best at Nationals 2020.
So far, 4 schools have performed abysmally. Kwaben Anglican Senior High School, that is supposed to be a science school, went home with -1 point. Maxwell Kudeko report for Joy News.
Well, congratulations to the schools that have qualified so far. Now, 16 schools from the qualifiers will represent the Eastern region at this national championship. They'll join the likes of Cedar schools such as St. Peter's SHS and Pope John SHS. Here is the complete list of qualified schools from the region. Asante Mampong Divisional Command has opened investigations into Wednesday's bloody clash between supporters of two parliamentary aspirants who were filing of nomination forms. Checks at the Mampong Government Hospital revealed 5 people who reported at the facility with various degrees of injuries, ranging from neck, head, and hand injuries, have all been treated and discharged. Divisional Commander Chief Superintendent David Kofi Amako says the command has extended an invitation to victims of Wednesday's clashes and all interested parties, including constituency executives of the New Patriotic Party. Parliamentary of our security desk has more in the following report.
Club-wielding supporters of incumbent MP Kwaku Sapon Amprechum engaged in the free-for-all fight with those of former presidential aspirant Francis Adenimo at the party's office on Wednesday. Police were called in after the clash to maintain law and order. The scene of the clash, the party's constituency office, had been left open with items scattered on the floor. One of the injured victims is 35-year-old Awal Ibrahim, also known as Obo, a known supporter of the incumbent MP, Sapon Amprechum. He suffered head, hand and chest injuries in the clash.
My injuries, you see, it's my head and it was very serious. My body, as I'm talking to you, one of my arms, I'm not feeling well. And my finger is very serious. I'm feeling pains in my hand. The internal ones are very serious than the one I just having it on my head. So it was very serious, yeah.
So what has police been telling you after the report, the complaints that you lodged with the police?
All right, they have said nothing yet. I just received a call from the divisional police commander and that I should report at his office within 10 minutes.
Ibrahim was seen beating a supporter of Mr. Adainimo, identified only as Kwame, after hitting him with a club. Defending his action, he told Joy News his action was for self-protection.
We only two, and we tried to even just protect ourselves and then run away from that place, and they said.
So how did you protect yourself in the process?
All right, we were holding nothing. So you see, they were holding chains and whatever. They were just using the things on us. Yes. So I tried and snatched one of the sticks. So I used it, one of them. I hit it with him. So he just fell down. And I got the space with my brother. And we just ran down there from the story building down there. Not knowing there were even plenty down there. That down of the story building. Yes. So they continue beating us seriously. So we tried defending ourselves, and police station was just near the party office. So we just rushed and to the police station and reported to them, and they took her to the hospital.
Another victim, Amenyampom Prince, who sustained neck injuries, is unable to speak properly following Wednesday's attack. Meanwhile, Mr. Adainimo has filed his nomination forms at the regional office on Thursday. From Kumasi for Joy News, Parliamentary reporting.
We're taking a break here now to bring you more business. Stay tuned in. All right, it's time for Joy News Interactive, and let's get on to Facebook and get to see some of it. We've posted this story here, which has to do with what Jinapo has had to say. All right, so he says, Member of Parliament for Yape Kusegu, John Jinapo, he's expressed disappointment in the choice of words used by Communications Minister Eslo over the minorities walkout during the State of the Nation address on Thursday. And there has been quite a debate about the things she's had to say. Let's see. So we have Hayford say, the First Lady respects herself. She wouldn't stoop that low. I respect her a lot. Newton says, sake of insult, God arranged. Oh no. not this. Colin says, I think the most unfortunate statement here came from Jinapo, if indeed he made that statement, bringing Mrs. Rebecca Kufado's personality into it. If we care to look for the understanding of what he said, I don't think most here will be chastising Ursula, but rather will ask Jinapo to explain better what he means by that statement, because I'm not sure any of us here have ever heard or seen the First Lady insult or disrespect any person in this country. Kwame Sampon says, John, now you find it disgusting that somebody is telling you that your walkout was senseless. Have you forgotten that JDM used the word baloney when he was the VP to describe MPP members for some statements they made? What is the meaning of baloney? And he goes on and on. Don D says, but you've been useless to Ghanaians always, and you proved your uselessness by walking out of such a national responsibility yesterday. So if you've been called the very useless that you are exhibited, why still talk this useless? Okay, just keeps going on. Douglas says, meaning what? What about Rebecca Kufuor in this matter? Keep quiet so people will think you're wise. Why? Take on Ursula and leave Madam Becky alone. She's not your class. Why? And Fred says, she has done the job many Ghanaians couldn't do when you walked out of the chamber. If you were there, you will receive more than that. I don't think you'd respect the parliament. Your party is not bigger than the parliament of Ghana. Act responsibly. And then Edward says, point of correction, Rebecca Kufuor doesn't insult, so don't bring her name into the equation at all. So let's move to our next issue. It has to do with the clashes, Mampong clashes in the Ashanti region. In Kumasi, Sante Mampong Divisional Command opens investigations into Wednesday's bloody clash. So we have Richard Aka says, you want to use your life as a burnt sacrifice for a political party. Well, what if you got your eyes damaged in the process or worse off even losing your life? Just go to church and thank God you're among the living. And Samuel says, what do you think, what do you want the police to tell him? Their leader said, all die be die. They're making money for their families and you're fighting. Kwejo Kwachi says, all what you have said will be used against you in the law court. Young men dying and kings claiming glory. Kill yourself for politicians, very lucrative job. And David says, those you were fighting for forced kids are here in America attending better schools and chilling in big cars, and they nearly killed you because of a bowl of Gary. Frank Boyan says, you people cry, why? You risk your life for someone's father to come and enjoy with his family. Nowhere in the news did I hear kids of those you're fighting for being involved. Why do you people allow yourselves to be used by these? Wait, I'm going to look for the word and come. Why? Right, so those are your comments on our Facebook watch. You can also get there and post your comments and also get to read some of the comments that are there. My name is Rizolai. Thank you very much for watching the news. You have a good night.